Good morning. Today we are going to take up the next topic of straight lines, which is general equations of a line. Now, an equation of the form ax plus by plus c equal to 0, that is an equation which is linear in both x and y, is called a general equation of a line. Here all three a, b and c can be any real numbers, positive, negative or 0. But the only thing is that a and b cannot be simultaneously 0. That is, ax plus by plus c equal to 0 is the general equation of a line where a and b are real numbers such that not both are simultaneously 0. And c is also a real number. Now we'll take up different forms of ax plus by plus c equal to 0. That is, given any equation in the general form or given a equation of a straight line in a general form, we will try to convert it to the standard forms which we have done earlier. Okay, so the three basic forms which we'll be discussing would be converting the general form to slope-intercept form. The next one would be to intercept form, and the third one would be to the normal form. Now, let's first take the slope-intercept form. We know that the slope-intercept form is y equal to mx plus c. So, let the equation of the given line be ax plus by plus c equal to 0, where b is not equal to 0. That is, we don't want the coefficient of y to be 0. Then in such a case, we solve for y. And how do we do that? So solving, we get by equal to, take this to the other things to the other side, we get minus ax minus c, which on solving gives us y is equal to minus a upon b plus minus c upon b. Now, why have I written this plus sign over here? Because in the standard form of the slope-intercept form, we have a plus sign over here. So this we have to be careful about, that we maintain the positive sign wherever it is there. Wherever the negative sign comes, that gets absorbed in the constant. So we get y is equal to minus a upon b times x plus minus c by b. Comparing it with the standard slope-intercept form, we get the slope m of the line is equal to minus a by b, and the slope c is and the y-intercept c is equal to minus c by b. Okay, so now let's just quickly take up one question to make this to understand this better. Let's take up question number 1, part 2 of exercise 10.3. It says that we have to find the slope and the y-intercept of the equation which is given to us as 6x plus 3y minus 5 equal to 0. So solving, we get 3y is equal to minus 6x plus 5, which gives us y is equal to minus 6 upon 3 plus 5 upon 3. Now there is already a plus sign over here, so we need not bother. We just continue writing it like this, and it gets solved to minus 2x plus 5 by 3. Comparing it with the standard slope-intercept form, which is y equal to mx plus c, we get the slope m is equal to the coefficient of x, which is minus 2, and the y-intercept c is equal to the constant part, which is 5 by 3. Now, let us take up the next form, which is the intercept form. That is, converting the general equation into the intercept form. We know that the intercept form of the equation of a line is x upon a plus y upon b equal to 1, where a, the denominator of x is the x-intercept and the denominator of y is the y-intercept. So now again, consider the equation, the general equation ax plus by plus c equal to 0. Now let's write it as ax plus by equal to minus c. Reason being, in the intercept form also we have only x and y term on the left side and the constant term is on the right. So we have written it as ax plus by equal to minus c. Now again we want a 1 on the right side. So dividing throughout by minus c, we get ax upon minus c plus by upon minus c equal to 1. Now if you just observe carefully, in the intercept form, the coefficient of both x and y, the numerator of the coefficient of both x and y is plus 1. So we want a plus 1 over here also. And how can we make that plus 1? By taking this coefficient a and b to the denominator. So finding the reciprocal, we get x upon minus c by a plus y upon minus c by b is equal to 1 gets carried down as it is. Comparing it with the intercept form, we get x intercept a is equal to minus c by a, which is the denominator of x, and y intercept b is equal to minus c by b, which is the denominator of y. Now again, to make it more clear, let's take up question number 2, first part of exercise 10.3. Here the equation of the line is given to be 3x plus 2y minus 12 equal to 0, and we are required to convert it to the intercept form and get the x and y intercepts. So again, taking the constant to the other side, we get 3x plus 2y equal to 12. Now the next step involved is making the right hand side 1. That will be obtained by dividing by 12. So we get 3x upon 12 plus 2y over 12 equal to 1. Now both these factors are divisible, so we just solve it further. We get x upon 4 plus y upon 6 is equal to 1. Comparing it with the intercept form, we get the x-intercept is the denominator of x, which is 4, and the y-intercept is the denominator of y, which is 6. Now we come to the next form. Before coming to the next important form, that is normal form, let us take up one more example to prove a point, and that is, the next example is question number 2, second part. 4x minus 3y equal to 6. Now here you can see that there is a negative sign in between the x and y terms. Now how do we deal with such things? So divide again. The first step involved is converting the right hand side to 1. That we can obtain by dividing throughout by 6. We get 4x over 6 minus 3y over 6 equal to 1. Cancelling, we get 2 over here, and this becomes 3, and this gets cancelled. Over here we get 2. So we are left with 2x upon 3 minus y upon 2 equal to 1. Now in order to convert it to the intercept form, we know that the coefficient, the numerator of the coefficient of both x and y should be plus 1. So for that, what we do is we have to remove this 2. It becomes x upon 3 by 2. Now here, though the coefficient is 1, but there is a minus sign. So divide this or take this minus 1 to the denominator. We get this becomes plus, and this minus sign goes to the denominator. So we get x upon 3 by 2 plus y over minus 2 is equal to 1. Comparing with the intercept form, we get the x-intercept is 3 by 2 and the y-intercept is minus 2. Now let us take the next form, which is extremely important, converting to the general equation to the normal form. We know that the normal form is x cos omega plus y sin omega equal to p. Okay, so now let's consider the general equation, which is ax plus by plus c equal to 0. Write it the same way as that of normal form, that is taking the constant to the other side. We get ax plus by equal to minus c. Now it's a point to be noted over here that in the normal form we all are already aware that omega represents the angle which the normal to the line makes with the x-axis, and p is the length of the perpendicular or length of the normal from origin to the line. So this is something very important which has to be kept in mind, that p, or the right hand side, when you write the equation in the normal form, the right hand side can never be negative. It's an extremely important point to be kept in mind. Now, so let's proceed. Here we are given the general equation, which we have written it in the form ax plus by equal to minus c. We want to convert it to the form x, the normal form, which is x cos omega plus y sin omega equal to p. Since these both represent the same equation or the same line, the coefficient of x in both the equations and the coefficient of y in both the equations and the constant term in both the equations should be proportional. And so from 1 and 2 we get cos omega over a should be equal to sin over omega over b should be equal to p over minus c. Solving, we get cos omega gets solved to this, a goes this side, a minus ap over c, sin omega becomes minus bp over c. Squaring and adding these two, we get cos squared omega plus sin squared omega equal to minus ap over c whole square plus minus bp over c whole square. But we know that cos squared omega plus sin squared omega is equal to 1. So this becomes equal to 1. Solving, we get a squared p squared over c squared plus b squared p squared over c squared equal to 1. And so we get a squared b squared, and you take p squared comma common, is equal to c squared. Solving, we get p squared is equal to c squared over a squared plus b squared, which gives us p is equal to plus minus c over under root of a squared plus b squared. Now why have we written this plus minus? We know that p can never be negative. We have written this plus minus so because we don't know the sign assumed by c. So out of these plus minus, we'll choose the sign in such a manner that p always remains positive. This is the most important thing to be kept in mind while converting or while reducing the general equation into the normal form. Now substituting the value of p in the result which we have already derived for cos omega and sin omega, we know that cos omega is minus ap by c and sin omega is minus bp by c. Substituting this, we get cos omega comes out to be plus minus a upon square root of a squared plus b squared. Sin omega is plus minus b over under root of a squared plus b squared, and p is plus minus c over under root of a squared plus b squared. Now here the only thing which we have to be careful about is that p has to be positive. So first we choose the value in such a manner that p is positive. Automatically the sign for cos omega and sin omega will follow. So in order to do that, what we do is we make the right hand side always positive, because right hand side gives us the value of c. If the right hand side is positive, rest all will automatically follow. So the sign involved are so chosen that P should always be positive, as P represents the perpendicular distance which can never be negative. Now, in order to make this concept clear, we'll take up the solved example 14 from the NCERT, which says that reduce square root of 3x plus y minus 8 equal to 0 to the normal form. So again, like before, we will always proceed the same way. We take the constant to the other side. We get root 3x plus y is equal to 8. Now here the right hand side is already positive, so we don't have to worry about the sign taken up by a and b. We just take the coefficient of x and y as it is, because the right hand side is positive, and which is what we want. Okay, so comparing it with the general equation, we get the general equation is ax plus by equal to c. We get a is root 3, b is 1 and c is 8. Coefficient of a is coefficient of x, which is root 3, b coefficient of y, which is 1, and c the right hand side, which is 8. Now if you just see the formulae for cos omega, sin omega and p, we observe that apart from the signs assumed by them, all of them can be directly evaluated if you divide a, b and c by the same constant, which is square root of a squared plus b squared. So what we do is first find the value of square root of a squared plus b squared. Now by making this 8 positive, we have ensured the sign assumed. So that first part is done. Second part is simply find, you have to find square root of a squared plus b squared, which comes out to be 2. Now divide throughout this equation by 2. You get root 3 by 2, which is actually the value of cos omega, root 3 by 2x plus half y. This half is the value of sin omega, is equal to 8 by 2. This 8 by 2 is the value of p. So we get cos omega equal to root 3 by 2, sin omega equal to half, p is equal to 8 by 2, which gives you 4. So first part is done, that is the right hand side we have solved. Now omega has to be so chosen that it satisfies both these values, and clearly omega will be 30, which is pi by 6. So once you find this pi by 6, omega equal to pi by 6, it satisfies both the values. Now the normal form of the equation of the line is actually this part which we have done, that by dividing the whole equation by square root of a squared plus b squared. Now in place of this you will write cos omega, and omega is pi by 6, so you get x cos omega. In place of this you will write y is as it is, and for half you will write sine pi by 6, sine omega, which is sine pi by 6, and here this is right hand side is the value of p, which is 4. Now we leave it as it is. Usually we are tempted to substitute the value of cos pi by 6 and sin pi by 6. You can do that, not a problem, but when you substitute cos pi by 6 as root 3 by 2 and sin pi by 6 as half, you will be, on solving, you will be back to what you started with. And the reason behind this is, by converting it to normal form, we have not changed the equation any which way. We have only written it in a different form, and so we don't solve it here, we leave it like this. So the general form of the equation of the line is this, whereas the corresponding normal form is this one, that is x cos pi by 6 plus y sin pi by 6 equal to 4. Now I'll just quickly take one more question so that all the doubts regarding the this normal form will be cleared, and that is, I want to take up question number 3, first part of exercise 10.3. Now this question says that reduce, the equation given to us is x minus root 3y plus 8 equal to 0 to normal form. Now here again we proceed the same way. We take the coefficient, the constant term to the other side. Now x minus root 3y is equal to minus 8. Now here if you just observe, the right hand side is negative, but first step involved is to make the right hand side positive. So to make the right hand side positive, what do we do? We take this to the other side and these to the right hand side. So we get 8 is equal to minus x plus root 3y, which can be written as minus x plus root 3y equal to 8. Now if you just take it, see that we have made the right hand side positive. Now comparing with general equation. Now what is the general equation? Ax plus by equal to c. Now you will observe that now we are writing general equation as ax plus by equal to c and not equal to minus c, because we want the right hand side to be positive and c is any constant. So we take the general equation in this form, that is ax plus by equal to c. What do we get? A equal to minus 1, b equal to root 3 and c is equal to 8. Now the next step involved is getting the value of a squared plus b squared whole under root. This comes out to be under root of minus 1 square plus root 3 square, which gives us 2. Therefore p will be equal to c by under root of a squared plus b squared, which is 8 upon 2. Cos omega equal to a upon under root of a squared plus b squared, which is minus 1 upon 2. Sin omega is equal to b upon under root of a squared plus b squared, which is root 3 by 2. You should see here that the same values of sin omega, cos omega and p can be obtained by dividing this equation by the value obtained for a squared by b squared. So dividing 1 by 2, the normal form is minus 1 upon 2 plus root 3 by 2y is equal to 8 by 2. Here also you can see the coefficient of x is cos omega, which is minus half. Coefficient of y is sin omega, which is root 3 by 2, and the right side perpendicular distance is p, which is 8 by 2. So here we get p is 8 by 2, which is 4. Cos omega is minus half and sin omega is root 3 by 2. Now if you just observe, cos is half when the angle is 60. Sin is also root 3 by 2 for 60. But here if you just see, cos is negative, sin is positive. So we have to look for that quadrant where cos is negative but sin is positive, and that quadrant is the second quadrant, and therefore omega should be equal to pi minus pi by 3, which is equal to 2 pi by 3. So how do we get this 2 pi by 3? We know that cos omega will be equal to, can be equal to as we have done in trigonometry already, the angle which gives you cos omega as half and sin omega as root 3 by 2 is 60 degrees, which is pi by 3. And so because of this sign, we have to take the second quadrant, and that is why the angle omega would be pi minus pi by 3, which is 2 pi by 3. Thus, the normal form is x cos omega, that is cos 2 pi by 3, plus y sin omega, that is 2 pi by 3, is equal to p, which is 4. Again, as before, if you substitute the value of cos 2 pi by 3 and sin 2 pi by 3, we will be back to what we started with. So in this manner, we can do all questions of this kind, that given any equation in general form, you can convert it to slope intercept form, and normal form. Thank you.